morning. Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and I'm here at the NRA show and actually in the Connected Experiences booth of NCR. And I have the pleasure of sitting with an old friend, Don Zimmerman, who is now the General Manager of the Global Hospitality Solutions Group of NCR. So welcome in the global position.
Great to be here.
So this is sort of a new position for you.
It is.
So there's a whole new strategy and things going on. So do you want to share with us, the opportunities and challenges that you see ahead of you?
Well, sure. I think one of the things we want to make sure that we do with this structure that I'm now responsible for is maintain that focus on our hospitality customers. Restaurants and the operators within that space and the technology they use are absolutely what we're focused on, and we don't want to ever lose that. So within the space, as you know, there's a whole lot of change going on. Technology is moving, as we call it, much more into the connected experience space. And that's why we've got the theme that we do for this booth today.
So let's drill down in that a little
Sure.
bit. So the connected experience. So what exactly do we mean by connect? I mean, it's too simple to say everything. So, what are the specific pillars or the focus points of a connected experience?
I think it certainly covers a lot of things, but the most important things, obviously, is the point of sale, used to be the solution that you needed in a restaurant. Now it's still very important, but it's the hub that lets those connected experiences happen. Mm-hmm. So examples of our connected experience solutions that we have could be self-ordering.
Right.
Someone walks in, or many people still call it a kiosk. Mm-hmm. Place your orders there and have it be part of the solution. But more and more orders aren't being placed from within the restaurant.
No, it's a mobile solution.
It's a mobile solution. It's an integrator or an aggregator of orders, whether pick
the
your
delivery
brand.
services and
Exactly.
things. Sure.
So more and more how you engage with your favorite restaurant has a number of different experience elements to it.
Right.
And yet for an operator, they all still need to be connected, because at the end of the day, I need to make the food, get paid for it, and make sure that customer's happy.
Well, I think that people realize, of course, that NCR traditionally, has integration, it has a lot of partners and things like this, right? But let's just talk about connected, because when I start thinking about connected and I start talking about mobility and the customer, I start thinking about the cloud, okay? Now, are these solutions, these connected experience solutions, NCR solutions? Are they partner solutions? They're both. But does NCR itself have a fully operable cloud solution to take care of these areas as well?
Absolutely. We've been in the cloud business for more than a decade. And much of our Aloha solution, in fact, 75% or more of it is in the cloud today. And we think there's value in not being 100% in the cloud, because you still need to operate without that connectivity. So we think we've got the best of both in that core solution. But that's just the core point of sale.
Right.
All of our additional experience elements are cloud-based.
Right.
So mobile obviously has to be, right?
Back
That's
office,
a no-brainer.
right.
Back office solutions are in the cloud. The kiosk solution can be cloud or direct connected.
Right.
So
Digital signage?
digital signage has cloud elements.
Cloud content management and
Content
management. Yeah.
exactly.
So really, you are in fact offering each of the different pieces if somebody wants an integrated, connected solution from NCR. You have all those pieces.
We do.
And if they choose to choose one piece or another in it, hardware, software, services, I guess we should talk about services
Sure.
as well, but if they choose that as well, you actually are there for them as well with the partnerships and things that you've always had.
Yeah, and you mentioned partnerships. It's not just the components of solutions that we make ourselves. We do have a long list of partners that bring some best-of-breed things to the situation, and we engage them into the solution. The other thing I want to mention also is, SaaS gets a lot of conversation these days. Even our Aloha point of sale can absolutely be contracted in a SaaS model.
So I'm not so sure that people, always fully realize that. So it can be contracted on a SaaS model, which I assume can be software and hardware as a service of sorts,
be,
right? And
it
services,
could be either
right?
one, absolutely.
So a package, maybe technology fee kind of thing, right?
If you just want a monthly fee,
That includes it all.
we could do that.
Okay.
Some choose to do the software that way,
Right.
and still buy their hardware.
Well, sure,
and
how they
many
book
still
it.
go the traditional license model, and we offer all of them.
But it gives them a lot of opportunities of how they
Absolutely.
want to slice and dice
Absolutely.
it, right? So we get the SaaS model that's there. We get the cloud-based products that are out there. and you still have connectivity and integration with most of the major providers within the silos, if you will, of different types of products. So you're still building partnerships.
Absolutely,
Okay.
more than ever.
And then we insert the word global, which is in your title.
Absolutely.
And so there aren't a lot of global players across the board. I mean, is NCR truly fully global everywhere you want to be?
That's a tough question to answer
Right.
with a yes, Rob, the way you put it. We are in many of the markets.
Right.
Historically, we've often been led into some of those markets by our global customers. But in other cases now, and we're turning that tide around to say we have major customers that aren't North American-based global customers, but they're in fact based elsewhere and expanding around the world from their view. And so we're
Right.
starting to add those to the mix. All of our solutions are not all available in every market.
That would have been my next
that
question.
all or every is a tough
But when you're
question to answer, but we're
cloud-based,
expanding it.
that helps you, right?
It absolutely does.
Yeah, because you no longer have to place it there, and service and support for a cloud-based product doesn't have to reside in the country.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, so that makes
But
it.
it depends on the country too.
So do you find that the tail wags the dog, in this case, or the dog wags the tail? I mean, do the customers take you to the new countries and places? I mean, how do you do that global expansion?
So that's what I was mentioning. I think historically we have more often than not followed customers who took us
Right.
there. That's now changing. And we're seeing a lot of growth and a lot of expansion in the non-North American markets that are based on sometimes those global customers, but more often now significant restaurant
Right.
customers that are based elsewhere.
So let's switch the focus a little bit to small to medium businesses.
Uh-huh.
Because clearly people know that NCR is out there for the global, the enterprise customers. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt of that. But maybe it gets a little confusing because small to medium businesses are not what they used to be. They grow rapidly. They used to be 1 or 2 units in they try to get to 20 units in a city. All of a sudden, they're all over the U.S. or they got 1 unit sitting in Dubai. So how are your solutions fitting, and do you have a specific focus on small to medium businesses?
We have first of all, we have a huge focus on small and medium businesses. That's still our core install base, depending on how you define small.
Is it a direct base or is it a indirect through channel partners?
We have both.
Yeah, both.
So we have a lot of channel partners, and we have 2 flavors of channel partners. Those that are offices that we acquired or own,
Right.
and those that are truly independent resellers that work with us and exclusively sell our solutions out into the small and business space. We also have an overlay team that comes along and adds to the core sale
Right.
for some of these cloud products and services that we were talking about earlier to expand out the footprint of what they can do with the
Right.
technologies we can offer them.
Okay, now, not every application, let's say point of sale is at its core, right?
Yep.
So not every application fits the really big guys. I mean, we see a lot of tablet-only based solutions that are here. Within the NCR, core of products, do you have smaller solutions as well? I mean, is Aloha that solution, or is there something else?
So it's a great question, and so several things I want to highlight to that in response to that. Actually over here in the booth, we have Aloha running on a couple of different tablets, full Aloha.
Right.
And it works wirelessly. You can walk around with it. It really fits a lot of applications today, and it's being shown right over there.
So no sacrifice.
No sacrifice.
Okay.
We also have Aloha Mobile, a narrower version of functionality. I think we're showing it on an iPad today, and that's primarily for order taking. Think about walking around in a table service environment, taking orders.
Was that based
and
on the
getting those
Orderman
into-
platform from before?
Well, that's yet another option.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yes, the software can run on an iPad.
Uh-huh.
It can run on Orderman,
Right.
and you'll see more options
Okay.
as that comes out. So from a mobility standpoint, Aloha Full on some applications
Right.
now is an option. Aloha Mobile, a more focused application on multiple different platforms. And then from a tablet point of sale perspective, we also have a product that we call Silver Pro Restaurant Edition. And
Is there Silver and Silver Pro, or is it just one version
There
now?
are 2.
Okay.
So Silver.
I did some homework on this.
You did, I can
Okay.
tell. Silver is primarily focused at small retail.
Right.
Now you'll find it in some restaurants, if they've got a real simple
Right.
operation or depending on what they're doing. But it was focused on small, barbershop or whatever it might be where they're taking retail type transactions. Silver Pro Restaurant Edition took that base and expanded it to include some very important restaurant functionality.
Right.
And so the way to think about the two, it's primarily cloud-based as well, because it started out that way, versus Aloha that has evolved that way. But if a restaurant is trying to figure out which one do I use, both have NCR on them, we think there is a good answer, and it largely is based on the complexity of their restaurant operation.
Right.
It's not a volume of business, an AUV kind of question. It's not even a number of sites necessarily. It is how complex is your restaurant? Do you
Right.
have a lot of kitchen integration? Do you have a lot of different functionality?
But
that
as
you
far
need?
as the mobility side of it, it has that connection. I mean, it's pretty hard for any operation today not to have a customer app for doing online
absolutely,
ordering or something.
absolutely.
So that
Yeah.
integration exists,
And
right?
they've got a lot of, in the Silver Pro product line, there are a lot of third-party integrations as well.
So within NCR itself, if I'm not sure what product set I need, who do I go to?
Talk to your account contacts, whoever that might be. Talk to your reseller.
Right. But they should know the full product
They
line.
should,
They should
absolutely.
understand the full product line.
And you know that's evolving, right?
Right.
They do know the products. The folks here are talking about both of them, depending on who asked the question,
Right.
what the question is. But it is still evolving because it's think of how the Silver team was really a startup within a big company, and so for a while they were relatively isolated so that they could really get their product together, their story together and their business model rolling.
Right.
And now we're incorporating that into the broader NCR and more fully than we ever did before.
So, we've known each other a while, right?
We have.
And, from your perspective in the
Is this
industry,
a setup question?
that's not a setup question. From your perspective in the industry, is it more fun to be on the supplier side or the operator side?
Boy, that's a tough question. That depends on the day.
On the day.
On the day, there are some days where I miss the restaurant side of the business, but I do find this side of it very challenging. And I think the biggest thing that I like about it is being able to really focus on more customers and more concepts and more restaurants than the one I was in.
Right.
So yeah, I'm
But
having a good time.
you get to have the opportunity to be a coach as well.
Absolutely.
Because you can anticipate what somebody's going to ask for on the operator side, or at least understand what their pain is, right? And then thinking like they might think,
That's right.
Help them to design that solution. Maybe you're more of a consultative, partner.
Yeah,
You personally.
absolutely. And that we've got a lot of great people that have a lot of excellent experience within the NCR domain, but they haven't necessarily been in the restaurant business. And so I will find that I can at times say, you know what, this is the way that CIO
Right.
is thinking, or that operator's thinking, or that franchisee, because I had a lot of those interactions as I was on the other side of the
But you're
table.
having fun.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're here at the NRA show. You've been here many years,
Mhm.
right? So what's your favorite thing in the NRA show besides the NCR Connected Experiences booth?
I think it's the Vienna Beef hot dog booth right over there. I really was glad to see this year it's so close, so I can keep an eye on when the line is manageable and get over
I'll
there.
tell you, my team would tell you that's my favorite booth as well.
Is it really?
Absolutely. I was very happy to see that booth was in walking distance eye shot to here. I think,
So we're going to see a lot of you around. Is that?
Oh,
is that what-
absolutely.
okay.
Either that or the Wisconsin cheese booth. I happen
Well,
to
that's
like
true.
that one
That's
too, and
close
that's
too.
at the end
That's
of the
right.
aisle.
And Euros over here aren't bad either. So that's
That
another
one
option
too.
right that
They're
way.
all surrounding you. Well, listen, Don, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And congratulations on taking over the global hospitality group within NCR, and we'll look forward to seeing where you take things over the next 12 months and beyond. But it's been a pleasure as usual.
Keep an eye on us.
Thank
You're going to see some things change.
Great.
All right.
Rob Grimes, IFBTA. The pleasure of being with NCR here at the NRA show.